What's going on, guys? We are back with another review. This review has been a highly requested review on this channel, and I'm super excited to bring it to you guys. So for today's review, we're going to be looking at Kingdom Hearts 1. For this review, we are going to be looking at the final mix version that can be found on the PS4 1.5 and 2.5 compilation. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. So Kingdom Hearts, the unlikely collaboration between video game companies Square Enix and the now corporate conglomerate, Disney. At this time, Square was known for and responsible for many of my favorite RPGs, you know, Super Mario RPG, Chrono Trigger, and of course the Final Fantasy series. And Disney, well, it's freaking Disney. Need I say more? When this game was announced and revealed, I'm sure many gamers were confused and intrigued at the same time. I mean, how did this even become a thing? I won't be getting into the entire development history of this game. There are plenty of articles and videos here on YouTube that kind of outlines all that information for those who are interested. I personally recommend you guys check out the TheGameDirect video series on this. She did an amazing job on giving the facts of this game's history. Her video will be in the description down below. So this game was originally released in 2002, so I was 10 years old when I was first exposed to Kingdom Hearts. I remember going over a friend's house over the weekend and he had a PlayStation 2. I remember when the Utada simple and clean intro played, I was hooked from that alone. So we played a couple hours of this game before I had to go back home, but for some reason this game really stuck with me. I didn't really have RPG experience outside the Pokemon franchise, so you can kind of say this is my first true RPG experience. So for my birthday that year, all I wanted was a PlayStation 2 and a copy of Kingdom Hearts. So when I got that, I spent hours with this game. I also got a guide, so I was able to get all the best weapons, fight all the hidden bosses, beat Sathiroth. You guys get the point. So let's talk about it. Is this game still worth a play today? So the story. I'm gonna say this right now. I am not the biggest Kingdom Hearts head out there. I grasped the key concepts of the first couple titles, but after a certain point, the story just kind of gets, well, you know, all over the place. But the first game is pretty easy to follow, so I'll give you guys a brief rundown without spoiling the game for those who are interested in playing this game for themselves. So Sora and his friends Riku and Kairi have a desire to leave Destiny Island, which is their home. They want to see what other worlds have to offer and pretty much broaden their horizons. Well, little do they know, other worlds are being consumed by darkness and stars are disappearing as an indication of that. Well, Destiny Island gets invaded by these creatures called Heartless, and Sora and his friends get separated. Sora eventually teams up with Donald and Goofy, who are on a quest to find their king, Mickey. So the trio agrees to team up and help Sora find his friends, save the existing worlds out there, and find King Mickey. This is a bare bones plot summary, pretty much a boy wanting to reunite with his friends and a duo looking for their king. In terms of gameplay, this game is considered an action RPG, so instead of the traditional turn-based battles, this game has a more free-flowing battle system, more like a hack and slash. In my opinion, I feel this makes the game more accessible to players who would not have traditionally played an RPG. I have many friends who do not care for the turn-based RPGs like older Final Fantasies, but love the gameplay of Kingdom Hearts. So it works. Sora's main weapon is a blade called the Keyblade. Sora receives this blade while Destiny Island is being wiped away. The Keyblade chose Sora, but as later game shows, there's more to it than that. Anyway, as your adventure continues, you will obtain keychains from different worlds. Not only do these keychains give your blade a various stat boost, but it changes the appearance of the Keyblade. I personally love the Oblivion and Ultimate Keyblades. Aesthetically, those two are my favorite. Sora can also perform magic. If you are familiar with the Final Fantasy games, you'll be familiar with these spells that Sora will gain throughout his adventure. I rarely use magical enemies in this game. I use the occasional thunder and spell cure, but that's it. I definitely prefer the sword combat in these games. In regular RPG fashion, you can equip Sora and his team with healing items such as Potion of Ethers, you can equip Donald and Goofy with new weapons, and you can also purchase accessories and equip them for stat boost. Sora, Donald, and Goofy also has ability points which increase as you level up. These will allow you to add different skills that will help you in your adventure. You know, things like a high jump, gliding ability, or just being able to see your enemy's health bar. You may also run into these color marks called Trinity marks. When you have Sora, Donald, and Goofy in the same party, these Trinity marks can open secret passageways, reveal treasure, or just give you tons of money. So in terms of the adventure itself, each world is based on a Disney film. You'll be traveling around the world of Aladdin's Agrabah, the world of The Little Mermaid, and even the world of Alice in Wonderland. There are also plenty others, so Disney fans have a lot of eye candy here. Each world has their own self-contained stories, but they all come together with the common goal of saving each world from the Heartless. Usually the Heartless targets the villain of that world, and that is the boss you will most likely fight. The standout Disney boss for me was Ursula from The Little Mermaid. I love that battle. I also really enjoyed the Maleficent fight as well. She's always been one of my favorite Disney villains, so seeing her in that dragon form was awesome. Speaking of Disney characters, Sora can also team up with given Disney characters to add them to his party. So if you always wanted to fight alongside Tarzan, Peter Pan, or Aladdin, now's your chance. Throughout my playthrough, I mainly stuck with my main party members of Donald and Goofy, but this is a cool touch. Sora can also summon characters to his aid in battle. Whether it's Simba, Genie, or Dumbo, it's a pretty cool summon animation regardless. My personal favorite summon was Tinkerbell. She heals you throughout the battle, and that comes in handy when you're fighting some of the later bosses. Now, Kingdom Hearts has a few side missions and extra content away from the main story. The biggest one is the Olympus Coliseum. You can fight your way through waves of enemies and even fight some of the toughest bosses. The Coliseum is needed to unlock some of the hidden items and weapons. Another side mission can be through the 100-acre woods from Winnie the Pooh. This world is completely optional, but you access this world by finding and returning lost pages to the magician Merlin. The stage is made up of mini games and challenges. Really fun stuff, and one of the worlds that stood out to me in the game. Besides that, the only other gameplay element here is the gummy ship stages. Now the gummy ship is how you move from world to world. Later on, you obtain a warp upgrade that allows you to essentially fast travel to worlds you've already visited. The gummy ship sections are pretty much like Star Fox shooting sections. I'm not the biggest fan of these, but I didn't really care to customize my ship either, so So Kingdom Hearts has plenty of positive aspects to it, but the game is not perfect. There are some small issues that we have to address in this review. One, I am not the biggest fan of the platforming in this game. Sora's jumps just feel stiff, and when the games throw these platforming sections at you, it just doesn't feel very good. I also think sometimes locking on the Heartless can be a little troublesome in some scenarios. It can also cause the camera to go a little crazy at times. So is Kingdom Hearts worth the play today? I think the game has enough going for it to justify a purchase. The game has a charming story, the gameplay is fun, and the Disney cameos are great, but some can feel a little pointless at times. Either way, this is a title I can recommend for those curious of the franchise. The best way to play this now is the 1.5 and 2.5 collection on PS4. This is the definitive version of the game and includes the final mixed version of each game, which have plenty of cut content that did not make the original release. Alright guys, well that's going to wrap up the Kingdom Hearts 1 review. Like I stated before, this game was really fun to record. Anytime I have a chance to kind of sit back and get myself involved with the RPG, just kind of taking in all the story elements, all the adventure aspects of the game, is always a fun time. Like I said, remember playing this game as a kid and now coming back to it as an adult and still have this almost the same level of fun with it. It was a very fun experience to kind of go back and relive that. But next time we come together, we're going to be looking at Chain of Memories, which is the sequel to the original Kingdom Hearts. It was kind of like that in-between game, but it does fill in a lot of story elements leading into 2. So we're going to be getting into that as we continue the Kingdom Hearts marathon. I can't promise a turnaround time on that because just like Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories is a very lengthy game. So it's going to take me a while to complete it and give you guys a great review on it, but just be patient. But in between time, we're going to be looking at little smaller titles in between. Not going to say what exactly, but you guys will see it once it pops up on my YouTube channel. But as always, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming through to my channel. Don't forget to like, comment if you're new here. If you feel like it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But if not, your time is all I need, and just drop a comment down below to join the conversation. And I'll see you guys next time. All right, peace.